What is up, NFL fans? It is your boy Kevin Phillip Fox here with the Legit Football NFL podcast. We're back, baby. It's been a while. It's been a minute. We miss you guys. Adrian misses you guys. I'm here with my boy, not from down under, but my boy from the Midwest. His name is Jimmy Ray. You already know Jimmy Ray. What the H is up, man?
Hey, not much, man. It was a good Thanksgiving. We had
Hell
some
yeah.
great football. We had
Hell
some great
yeah.
football last night. I was just ready to talk to my guy, Kevin Phillip Fox, man.
Dude, it's just feels right, bro. It just feels right. This is the universe just being in tune right here. Like the boys being together, talking football. If we had Age and McFadden for every show, we would just be in heaven, really.
Yeah.
Miss them dearly. Miss Ant in the production office, but it is what it is. Ant might have had a show last week. I'm not actually 100% sure. But Ant talked about having a show. I know I'm seeing some flashes over there.
with his brother.
I didn't have a chance to catch it, but I love the link because I'd love to watch those two beautiful twins chop it up about the NFL. But that being said, the Legit Football NFL podcast, 2 out of the 5 OGs are here, and that's what matters. They always say, this is the time of year to focus on who's here. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's focus on who we're with. And that's me and Jimmy Ray. So we have a lot to get to. Armand is in the chat as always, holding it down. We absolutely freaking love this guy, Armand. Yeah, we had a great game last night, Jimmy. Let's talk about that. Seahawks fight tooth and nail with the Dallas Cowboys, end up losing 41-35. Jimmy, what are your quick hits from that game?
So before the game, I was like, "Oh, Cowboys are going to win double digits. Like, it's not going to be a problem."
Same.
Yeah,
same.
Seahawks came out targeting like their game plan immediately was targeting Deron Bland. It seemed like he allowed like 5 catches, 130 yards, a couple touchdowns. DK Metcalf balled out. Geno Smith was there, but the good thing for the Cowboys was their offense was rolling as per usual. I mean, Dak Prescott over the past like 6 games is balling out. He has like 21 touchdowns against 2 interceptions, 1,900 yards.
Sheesh.
I mean, when you're playing against a possible, dare I say, MVP candidate, it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to go toe to toe with him. But Geno Smith and the Seahawks, very sad loss because they really needed a win.
Yeah,
it's like there's no moral victories in the NFL, especially in Week 13. But if there was any sort of moral victory, it's probably with this game.
Yeah, this is about where the moral victories expire. Definitely relate to that pretty heavily. But unbelievable game. Watching that was beautiful. Geno looked like last year's Geno, which we were desperate to see. If you listen to the fantasy Q&A show, which I know Armand was in attendance, we did tell you to fade Seahawks receivers. So we will all take the bath on that. We'll all take the L on that. I did say that I projected JSN's best career game, and he did have that. So I feel good about that. But if he would have caught that touchdown, it would have been even better. Alas, it wasn't to be. We keep things rolling. DK, if you sat him on our accord, you are entitled to financial compensation. Reach out to Brian McFadden on Twitter, and he'll pay you. But that's Thursday night. Any quick hits from last week's games that you want to get to, Jamie, before we move into our main slate? My favorite part of the day.
And it's already Friday, so like Week 12's behind me, Week 13's in front of me.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So unless you have something to talk about,
I mean, I'll just really quick. I mean, just for the sake of it's Buffalo's bye week. I love keeping my legit listeners abreast of how I'm feeling on the season. I joke that this is like my therapy. Like this is my therapy that I pay less for than real therapy.
Talk about it. Yeah.
So obviously we all know game of the year contender. Buffalo hung in there, took every last bit of what Philly could handle. And really at the end of the day, I think you'd probably agree, probably should have won that game. Was really difficult to watch them go from 6-6 or 7-5 to 6-6, really, with some questionable calls. Obviously, you never want to be that guy blaming the refs, but I mean, this is the kind of the weird exception where it's like it's a national story how sort of one-sided and lopsided that game was. I'm sure you've seen the intentional grounding, horse collar, no call.
Yeah, that was a horse collar, that's for sure.
Was it? And it's one thing if it's just not ruled that, but then
I don't know. His jersey seemed pretty intact still. I don't know what you're talking about.
To call it grounding when the ball landed at Gabe Davis's feet was just, whatever. You can bemoan it all you want, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I kind of likened it to the Hunger Games in the first movie when, everybody's like, oh, we like, we like Katniss or whatever. And then they're like, oh yeah, well, she's giving you too much hope. So we're going to send the wasps to her and the dogs to her and the fire to her and da. It's kind of how I feel about my Bills right now. Like the game
Yeah.
matches are keeping
And,
us from.
and they didn't deserve that, man. They're already looking fairly down from what they were expecting this season, and now they were like, oh, we're going toe to toe with like one of the best in the
The
NFC,
contenders, yeah.
the best, yeah, like the favorites to win the Super Bowl probably, and
Yeah.
then it just comes up short. It's like the Seahawks, like there's no moral victories
No,
in
no
week
more
12 and
victories.
week 13. I mean, not for a team like the Bills who want to win.
Yeah, and I've been saying all season, like, the McDermott seat is warm. There was a story in Legit Football today that his seat's not even, it's not even possible that he gets fired. 0% chance, they're saying. Really, other than the you know, choice to send 12 men out on the field on a game-winning field goal, where imagine, the 12 men on the field penalty doesn't happen, and this last game gets called evenly because AJ Brown also fumbled in overtime, and it was ruled an incomplete pass. I'm not sure if you saw that play
Oh
either.
yeah, I saw that play.
So,
I
you're
was
really,
mixed on that play, honestly,
it's
but
tough. It was a tougher call, but
it's like one of those plays
to not
where
even review it was what really bothered me. But we're
yeah,
looking at a team that really, for all intents and purposes, is 8-4 with a 6-6 record slapped on them, and they have the hardest
yeah.
schedule remaining. So, definitely tough. I don't want McDermott to get fired. I
How's
still
your
like
schedule
him.
after the bye week?
Terrible. Worse than it was
Okay.
before.
Okay,
Chiefs,
okay.
Cowboys, Dolphins. There's
That's
really
tough.
no letting up.
You definitely took some losses that you couldn't afford, and that's,
Exactly.
like, what makes these games that much more important. It's not just like a, "Hey, look into the playoffs"
I
kinda
want
game.
to,
It's like, "Hey,
yeah.
we're trying to survive here now."
I want to give a quick plug, not a sponsor, but a podcast that I'm a huge fan of. If
Coffee
you're a
shop.
Bills fan, really specifically, oh, coffee shop, appreciate that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, yeah.
No, but big fan of this. It's called Cover One Buffalo, and it's a Cover One. It's a film breakdown network, and they talk about the Bills pretty heavily because they have some fans there. And they did the math. They did the playoff calculator math, and 4-1 rest of the way for Buffalo, which would take them to 10-7, almost guarantees a playoff berth.
Yeah.
5-0, 11-6, you're sewed up. 10-7, it's like 75 to 80%, and then 3-2 even, which is, I think, how they've been playing. Right, firing Ken Dorsey, it looks like Joe
Yeah, I
Brady
can see that.
is the answer, for now at least. We'll see what happens. But 3-2, it's still a 50-50 shot. Got to have some things go their way when it comes to the Broncos, the Steelers, the Texans. They're in 10th right now. We all know. We've all heard that. And their toughest of their remaining games is this upcoming week against Kansas City, who they have taken care of in the regular season. And how they're playing right now, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they went in there and punched them in the mouth at Arrowhead. But
Yeah.
that's my 2 cents. I just wanted to get that off my chest. Your
Can I be
Colts,
honest with you
Jimmy?
for a second, man?
Yeah, please.
I appreciate you guys losing so the Colts could remain in the 7th seed.
All right, take it back. I don't want to hear that.
I can't take it
You
back. I
can't
can't
be
take it
honest with
back.
me anymore. I don't want that. No, you're right.
No,
If
I
it's
mean,
not us, I want it to be you guys, 100%. I would love
yeah,
for you guys.
going into the game, I wasn't thinking that, but I was like, listen, if the Bills lose, that's looking good for us. I mean, it's
Yeah,
still it's in our hands, you know?
you're gonna dry your tears from the Bills' loss with your winnings of the Colts still being in the running. So good call. Good on you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to seeing how the season plays out. It's a long season. Never forget the Bills were 7-6 in 2021. They went on a run. They won out. They won the division. That was the year they had their best shot at a Super Bowl. A lot of people think.
Yeah.
So it's not over till it's over.
Yeah, you
Percentages
got 5
are
games left, right?
percentages
5?
be damned. Yeah, it's about a third of the season, maybe a little less. So stay strong, stay positive. I'm saying that to all Bills fans, but also all fans in general. Football's weird. The ball bounces in weird ways, man. It's not a circular ball. It's oblong, so you never know.
I feel like we're fighting right now. I feel like Colts Bills are like
I forgive you. Oh, you and I are the Colts
yeah,
and the
yeah,
Bills
yeah.
are. Yeah, I was gonna say you and me are cool. It's not personal.
But like
Um,
I'm sure this week you're cheering for the Titans a little bit. I'm sure
oh,
you're like,
100%.
yeah.
And
So
you will only be temporarily blackballed. I'll get over it. Like maybe like 1
okay,
year, and then you can come back on the show. Uh,
okay. I have
just
some
kidding.
free time, look at more stats, figure it out.
Hell yeah. Use the time to your advantage, NFL staff.
Yeah, absolutely,
But
dude.
we got a loaded slate to get to. And at the pace Jimmy and I went last week, we might be able to set a record this week of shortest podcast. I mean, look, at the end of the day, Jimmy and I, we get in, we get out, we do our business. We're like the Ghostbusters. You know what I mean? We come in, we bust the ghosts, and we get out. It's that simple. So
yeah, I mean, I have experience doing 30 minutes of football with Brian talking
hell
about
yeah,
all the teams in 30 minutes. Did we ever
hell yeah.
go under 30 minutes? No, but we
Not a
tried to.
chance. But that's
Yeah.
okay. But that's okay. We can do it right now. I'll kick off our slate of games. We have Dolphins at Commanders. Commanders are 9.5-point favorites. The over-under is 49.5. And I will say, I think this game really comes down to Miami's offense has been virtually unstoppable. The Commanders' defense has been leaky at best, and they've lost some of their best pieces. I'm not really even remotely nervous about whether or not the Commanders will put up a fight in this game. I think they're plucky at times. I think they could, and Miami is kind of a team that lets teams hang around sometimes. We saw it with the Raiders. Believe it or not, we really saw it with the Jets. The final score doesn't show that, but the Dolphins were up 3 at halftime before what Pro Football Demon has dubbed the Hail Mary, where Tim Boyle threw a pick six on a Hail Mary attempt.
That was
Wild.
insane.
Never seen that in my life. Has it ever happened in NFL stats?
No.
There you go. There you go. NFL stats.
I haven't looked it up. I haven't looked.
It's a judgment call. It's a judgment call.
Judgment call. Judgment call. It hasn't happened.
I honestly am inclined to agree with you. So pesky. The Dolphins are the kind of team they let pesky teams hang around. So I wouldn't be shocked if the Commanders put up a little bit of a fight, but I think we both know this is going to be. I think you could call this a steamroll. I'll say 34-20.
No way, dude. I put down to the same score.
No, you're lying.
Yeah, I did. I swear.
Dude, we're so in sync, dude.
That's weird.
I don't believe them. Picks
no.
or it didn't happen.
I'll send you a picture.
Please.
Yeah. No, but the crazy thing I found was the Dolphins started 8-3 last year, and the Jets suck.
True.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll talk about them at some point. But the Dolphins started 8-3 last year. They're 8-3 right now. Do you remember what happened last year?
I sure do. Buffalo won the division.
5 straight losses.
Yep.
5 straight losses. I'm not saying this will happen, but the Dolphins do. Last 3 games, they have the Cowboys, Ravens, Bills. So that's a kind of a tough slate right there, and but that's a chance for them to prove what they can do. As for the Commanders game, I think they'll be fine, 34-20. Sam Howell's been throwing the ball a lot.
Yeah.
Leads the league in pass attempts, leads the league in pass yards.
Yeah.
Leads the league in most times sacked, 15 times more than any other quarterback.
Insane. Not
so
safe.
They're throwing him into the fire.
Yeah.
Which is one way to do it. He's not a bad quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but he's getting a lot of experience, that's for sure.
34-20 feels good. You got 2 all-pro analysts saying that, so if it's anything but, we failed you. Next game up for you, Jimmy, is going to be the Detroit Lions traveling to New Orleans. Is it New Orleans or New Orleans?
New Orleans is what I say.
It's no leans. It's just
no
Lins?
leans. No leans.
No leans. New Orleans.
No, only
Sometimes
fat.
I say
no
that.
lean. No lean. Only fat. I need it.
Detroit traveling to New Orleans to take on the Saints, and the Saints are 4-point dogs at home with an over/under of 47. Jimmy Ray, take it away.
I'll take the Lions to cover the spread and to win this game. I mean, I think it'll be 30-17 Lions. The Lions are looking to start 9-3 for the first time since 1962. I think the Lions have a chip on their shoulder, especially with how last week's game went.
Atrocious.
Atrocious. Absolutely.
Atrocious.
I don't know what happened. I mean, their defense isn't the best, but their offense definitely could have put up more of an effort.
Keep talking about this game for 10 more seconds. Okay, I have to run and grab something really quick.
Yeah,
I just got a text from the
I still have a lot to say. The Saints.
Keep ranting. I'll be right back.
Absolutely. Listen, man, the Saints are the 4th worst team in the red zone touchdown percentage, which is something that you have to be good at. Derek Carr, he's one of those quarterbacks where he isn't the best, he isn't the worst. He's very mediocre, and I'm just very surprised that the Saints went in this direction because I think we all kind of saw this coming. Dennis Allen said they don't have an identity at all, and I kind of agree with him. Alvin Kamara said that. Dennis Allen said that they have a lot of weapons on the offensive side of the ball.
Did I miss anything?
No, I was just talking trash about the Saints.
Oh, that's fair. I think they're worthy of it.
Yeah, I felt weird talking to myself, honestly.
Did I miss any hard-hitting analysis?
The Saints are the 4th worst team in the red zone touchdown percentage.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
So that doesn't surprise you at all. I mean, I think Dennis Allen's out of there at the end of the season. I think, and Alvin Kamara said that the team doesn't really have an identity, and I kind of agree. I kind of agree with what he said.
Yeah, because
But
what is your identity?
I don't know.
Kamara's not a 30 touch tote the rock kind of guy. Derek Carr is not a set you on fire with high flying offense kind of guy. The defense is good but not great.
Yeah. There's just the move to get Derek Carr in the offseason just felt like a move kind of backwards. I feel like they're in a tough situation.
Yeah,
I mean they're in the NFC South, so everybody in the NFC South is in a tough situation.
yeah.
So, but I have the Lions winning.
If the Saints were to be competitive again, it would require a move for another superstar. Carr is a guy that you can win with, not a guy you can win because of. And they don't have a talented enough roster to make up for what Derek Carr is. Like, he is who he is at this point in his career. And I've been on the record on this show several times, on every show I've been on. I don't hate Derek Carr. I think he's Kirk Cousins light. I think you can win with Derek Carr, but he needs a stellar, like above average to great supporting cast to win in the NFL. And the Saints just don't have that, in my opinion.
Did the Saints turn into like the Raiders?
It weirdly enough, yes. I almost
weirdly
feel
enough,
like
it feels that way.
Similar,
but
yeah.
Like similar weapons.
The weapons, and the thing is, for going into the season, I was on the record of saying best weapon set of Carr's career. Now, I think Michael Crabtree and Amari Cooper would beg to differ.
Yeah.
But Chris Olave, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed, Jawan Johnson, Alvin Kamara, Taysom Hill, it feels like they should be better. It feels like they should, and Carr, I think, in his older age is what's kind of holding them back at times, and his shaky health and his inconsistent play. It's very unfortunate. I will double down. The Lions have a get right game here on the road. I think Lions take care of business. I think they hang some points too. I'll say 38-27.
Okay. And I will say Taysom Hill's fun.
It's great. Very great fun.
Hall of Fame quarterback. Tight end.
Big Taysom
whatever,
Hill
running back. Yeah.
Big time. Hall of Fame utility piece.
Someone called him a Hall of Famer. I forget who it was.
No, that's a cap. But it's probably,
he's a fun guy.
You know who's notoriously loose with their Hall of Fame takes is Anthony.
Colin Cowherd. Anthony, really?
Anthony told me Matt Milano was a lock for the Hall of Fame.
A lock?
And I appreciate it. I love Matt Milano. I hope
Shaq Leonard was a lock a couple of years ago.
You're right, dude. Shaq Leonard, fall off of the ages. I'm sorry about that, dude.
It's fine. We don't.
Can't wait to see where he ends up, man.
Me too.
Next up, we have the LA Chargers traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. Patriots are 5.5-point home dogs with a disgusting, gross, vomit all over yourself over under of 40 points. I personally think this is going to be the Bailey Zappi game. Not to sound disrespectful, but I wouldn't be shocked if we saw some Mac Jones.
Oh my gosh, Western Kentucky legend, man.
Personally, I really wouldn't hate seeing their third guy, Malik Cunningham. I think he's still on the team. I think he's still, looking sharp. I know they played roster roulette with him earlier in the year, but Malik Cunningham probably has every bit of a chance of being good as the other two. So I think the Chargers have a huge opportunity here to, once again, like I said, I know we talked about it on Fantasy Q&A show. I think the Chargers are in for a huge offensive explosion. They've been delaying it all season. The Patriots defense isn't particularly bad. They still have a solid defense, but man alive, that offense is so bad. I think the Chargers will have the ball early and often. And I think this is going to be a blowout. I think the over-under is probably maybe a little low. I think I would rather see, I'll see Chargers 27, Patriots 6.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is under. I am still taking the under. No.
You just came up with a score and you're like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, the Chargers have had a rough few games. They've lost last three games by a combined 16 points. But it was against like the Lions, Packers. I don't know what's going on with the Packers. They're feeling it right now, I guess. And the Ravens. So, but Staley, I don't know if Staley's going to last for the rest of the season. I'm surprised he's not gone by now.
He's so bad.
He's not great. He's not great.
It's weird because like they've really stuck their neck out for him time and time again. They've given him chance after chance, and it's like, why? What has he done to earn that?
Yeah, I mean, when you underperform with like kind of a franchise quarterback, you can't waste that time that you have, especially with all the talent they have around him. You would think it would work out a lot better and score more points, maybe against the Ravens. What did they score last week? Like 6?
Yeah,
9, something like that.
Awful game.
But
Herbert, I hate on Herbert more than anybody, and I think Herbert's kind of proving me right a little bit this year.
Yeah, just don't pull out Emmanuel Acho and hate on Herbert too much. Social media quarterback, he's still good.
Yeah, he's still I think he's top 8.
There's nothing wrong with social media.
Nah, it's nothing to do with social media.
A lot of good stats on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Patriots are averaging like 13.3 points per game. I think that's the second worst in the NFL. That's not good.
They're terrible.
But I think the Chargers still need to get with it. I think it'll be like 23-13. It'll be the under. So
But you have a little closer of a game than I do.
Yeah, I think the Chargers will take control. I think they know the game plan that the Patriots can score a lot, and hopefully they can get Austin Eckler going a little bit more.
It just feels like Eckler's just not the same this
No,
year.
yeah, he's not very efficient right now.
Heartbreaking. Jimmy Ray, you're going to be talking to us about the Arizona Cardinals, plucky Arizona Cardinals, taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 6.5-point favorite with an over/under of 41.
Yeah, this was a tough game, but the Steelers, I mean, no Canada, right? No problem. They got 400 yards last week for the first time since I think they were in the playoffs in 2020. I think it's been a few years.
Yeah.
Since Matt Canada started, and he didn't get 400 yards until he finished. And then they got 400 yards right when he came back. So, or when he was gone. So that's very interesting how that worked out. Will they get 400 yards? I'm not sure. I mean, they only had 16 points last week too. They got the win, but 400 yards and 16 points. It's not ideal. TJ Watt, he's balling out. I'm living off of this defense, and I think Mike Tomlin is too. So yeah. I got to go the Steelers here. I think the Cardinals defense is just, it's not good enough to win games. I think Kyler Murray and stuff. I think that offense also isn't like the best, but I don't know if it's because Kyler Murray's still getting used to it. Used to playing, but I got to go Steelers here, 23-14.
Yeah, I got something to say.
I got bad news for you, mate. I got bad news for you, mate. I got bad news for you, mate.
I got bad news for you, mate. I think the Cardinals are going to upset win this game.
Okay.
6.5-point dogs in Pittsburgh. I think Kyler Murray is going to get it going. I think he's going to get it together. Him and Hollywood, him and Trey McBride, him and Michael Wilson, Rondale Moore, all those guys. I think they're going to get it going. Pittsburgh secondary is god-awful. And I think Kyler Murray is effective enough with his legs that he can neutralize the pass rush a little bit. And I think Pittsburgh's offense that we've seen of yesteryear will rear its ugly head.
Yeah.
I think that they will lose this game, blow a game that they shouldn't. And I think it'll be 24-20.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I think the Steelers will be somewhat decent against the Cardinals defense. And I think they'll be rolling a little bit more than you think, I guess. But
poor losers.
We'll see what happens.
Sorry, guys. Poor losers. I'm sorry, guys.
Why do I sound so sad?
You were so sad in that
clip. Yeah, it's pretty staggering. Yeah, it's pretty staggering. Yeah.
Adrian did such a good job. I love Adrian. Dude, Adrian.
I haven't heard that one yet.
Adrian as the scab producer is the absolute going through those are hilarious. Jimmy Ray, anything else you want to say on Cardinal Steelers?
No.
Next up on the schedule, one of the games of the week, we have the Denver Broncos, 3-point dogs in Houston, taking on my Houston Texans, my off-season darling team that I touted as the next team to arrive. I didn't think it would be this soon, but I'll continue to tip my cap and bang my drum about that one. 47.5-point over-under. I think this game comes down to CJ Stroud against an outstanding and surging Denver defense. People are going to look at the numbers from this season at the end and see a skewed number because of Denver's 70-point game. They have turned it around so heavily. They just have defeated some of the best teams in the league, some of the most surging teams in the league, Chiefs, Bills, Vikings. 12 men on the field, penalties aside, Denver has earned their way to where they are in the thick of the AFC playoff picture, which I never thought I would say that at the start of the season. So once again, that's like a take your medicine kind of thing for me because I thought they were going to be atrocious. I thought Russell was done. Russell looks like a different person, different player. Very impressed with what I've seen from Denver. So I do think this is going to be a hell of a game. I think it's going to be a dogfight. I think CJ is going to get it together. I think CJ is going to have a CJ game. He's going to do what he does. Picking a winner in this game is almost impossible. I do think I'm going to gut check it and say that Denver pulls it out because of that defense, and CJ Stroud will have another one of those games where he has a couple turnovers, and I think this game is going to be, I'll say 29-27 Denver.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I agree with you. Russell Wilson versus CJ Stroud. That's what it's going to come down to. I'm seeing 34-31 Texans. I think it's going to be a shootout here. The Broncos, they're number one in takeaways, but I don't know how long. I think CJ Stroud's been pretty good with controlling the ball and
we're
being
both
smart
way
with the
over.
ball.
The over-under
Yeah,
is
we're both way
47
over.
and a half.
Yeah.
So maybe
So
go
I
bet
guess
the
we got to
over.
bet that. Yeah,
Yeah,
bet
go
the
bet
over,
the
guys.
over.
Remember,
We should, you know what? It would
we
be
aren't
fun when we
liable.
do these podcasts. We should find like the locks, like the ones that we agree on. We should find them and bet them. I think that's fun.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Throw 20 on that.
That's a
over,
lock.
man.
This is a lock here.
I mean, we both
Lock
picked
right
it
now.
by a lot, so it's worth
Yeah, I
it.
didn't. Once again, I don't even know the overs, totals, or the lines for the most part when I pick these scores.
Is DraftKings legal in Indiana?
Yep, everything's legal in Indiana,
Nice.
baby.
We can only do player props in California. It's tragic.
Really?
Yes, sir. And next up, you have the Atlanta Falcons and Arthur Smith and his mustacheless face traveling to New Jersey to take on Armand's New York Jets. Jets are 2-point home dogs against the Falcons. Should be another Tim Boyle game, unfortunately. Over under is remarkably low, 33 and a half. Jimmy, this could have been a dynamite game if Adrian was here to do the dynamite stuff. Talk to me.
This is not. I'm not happy with getting this game, but I called this. I called this the QB dilemma bowl because I mean the Falcons. I don't know which way they're going with Taylor Heineke and Desmond Ridder. I think they're just going with the young guy.
Ritter's locked in at this point, right? He won the job back.
Ritter's pretty much. Yeah, I don't even know what Arthur Smith's doing, but yeah, he quote unquote won it back. I don't know if he really won it or they're just like whatever. Let's just see what happens. But I think they're on top of the NFC South right now, if I'm not mistaken. At like 5-7 or something. But
they are.
The Jets are going slightly downhill. They have Aaron Rodgers just hanging out in the background, ready to come in and play for Tim Boyle. I feel like he's going to play at some point this season.
So stupid. Wow. I think he's going to play too, and I don't think he should. I don't get it.
I did see a good point that like if he tears it again, like he's just gonna do the same thing and he'll be back by next season. You know,
my logic was like I think he did it to, and I've been disagreed with by everybody I've proposed this to, but it's what I genuinely believe.
Okay, I'll disagree with you then.
Well, a lot of people are like rightfully pointing out his love of attention and his desire to say that he beat science, which is probably partly true. But then also, I think there's something to be said for like the reps, like the mental reps. Like he doesn't have to come into a game to, put on the suit, put on the pads, practice with his teammates, continue to establish himself in that locker room. I don't think it can hurt at all to get these reps. Yeah. Even if they're not on the field, even if they're just mental and he's just activated. Fair. That's where my head.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think people overreact to like Aaron Rodgers and his personality as a whole. I think people take that too much into account. I think he's a competitor at the end of the day, and he wants to compete.
Got a lot of respect for him.
However much time he has left, he's only getting older. So if he can go out for like a few more games, play football, get some wins, it's a week by week league, regardless if you're in the playoffs or not. Right. And winning at the end of the season definitely goes into next year. I feel like. Yeah. In terms of momentum and stuff throughout the offseason, you're like, okay, we got a few wins under our belt with Aaron Rodgers. We can take over the AFC next year, but
definitely possible.
I'll talk about the Jets right now. I think the Falcons are going to win. I think it's going to be 17-14. I just think.
So you're undering the
gross
the under? Low under. You're undering the gross low under. I'm just confirming that.
Yeah, I mean, would you bet the over? I wouldn't bet the over.
I don't know, man. It's so bad.
I mean, who's going to score a touchdown? I think Breece Hall's questionable too. I mean, the Jets have only scored a touchdown like 28% of the time in the red zone this season. That's like that's a little over 1 out of 4 times they actually get in the end zone when they're inside the 20. That's just one of those stats where you're like, oh, I should have that field goal kicker on my fantasy team.
And Armand is pointing out that he does want to beat science, giving me my flowers on that take, saying he wants to go to a dark. Armand would rather Rodgers end up in a darkness retreat for the season. Armand wants to lose out. I agree with you, Armand. Personally,
I kind of want to do a darkness retreat. That sounds fun.
It would be fun. Or like even like a sensory deprivation tank. Those look sick. Never done one. Heard good things. Yeah. Armand says the Jets are not scoring 14 points. I will take the Falcons as well. But yeah, man, I don't know how.
10-7? What are you going to say?
I'll say 20-10. I'll say 20-10.
Are they going to score 10, Armand?
I think they
Maybe.
can score
I have
10.
no idea. If they can score 10,
Um,
they can hit 14.
But let's punt this game off a bridge on some Baxter. Armand wants us all to go to a darkness retreat. I'm with it.
Okay. I like your profile picture, Armand.
And next up, Mr. Jimmy, we have your Colts. We're gonna give this one back to you. You're gonna go back to back. I'll go back to back on the next two. We'll get a little makeup call in. Colts are 1-point road dogs in Tennessee with a 42.5 point over under. Jimmy, tell us what we need to know about this football game.
Give me the Colts, baby. That's all. I mean, listen, though, the Titans are playing their first back-to-back home games this season. Isn't that kind of crazy?
That's messed up. The schedule maker.
That's messed up, dude. The computer did not calibrate that correctly because I feel like you could find a way to get all of them. I think they were in London for one game that was considered a home game. So
yeah, Bills had one of those too. Sucks.
Yeah, I don't know why. They probably got paid a lot of money for something like that. Anyways, the Colts are without Jonathan Taylor. Is that an issue? I don't really think so. I think Zach Moss
has been amazing.
had almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Titans last time they played. So I feel like that's big time. I know the Titans are home. They play a little bit better at home, but and last time I was kind of sad music with the Colts a few weeks ago, but they're on a tear right now. They're on a tear against bad teams right now, and I'm all for it.
Yeah,
I'm all for it. I'm all about winning. I don't care about the draft pick. We have our quarterback. We have 2 quarterbacks that are somewhat feasible. I mean, Gardner Minshew, he likes to throw that one interception. You're like, what are you doing, man? But then he shimmies in the end zone. I'm like, I'm back. I'm a
huge Gardner Minshew fan, man. I think he's a great backup quarterback. You guys are in good hands. Give me a score prediction, sir.
27-17, Indianapolis.
I like it. I think Indy.
Thank you.
I think Indy on the back of I think Indy on the back of like Zaire Franklin. What a stud.
He's a guy, dude.
Yeah, he's so good.
He's that guy.
Kenny Moore. A lot of great players on the Colts.
Ryan Kelly will be back too on the offensive line, which it's been a while.
Hell yeah. I love Josh Downs. I love Michael Pittman. I'd love to see you guys get your hands on like a competent tight end. I've seen just a lot of bad tight end play for you guys. Do you like Mo Alley Cox?
That's very mean. I like him, but he doesn't really change the game.
He's like a tight end too.
I feel like we're more of like a blocking tight end kind of squad. I mean, Mo Alley Cox is a tall guy, but I feel like that's
I think you're right, though.
I miss Jack Doyle.
Oh, dude. Baby hands is what they call them on the fantasy football.
Baby.
I think I would have to go with a solid Colts dub. I think I'm going to say 23 to I'll say 16. So that is the under there as well. Let's go. Good analysis
the 2007 there. Team roster.
Hard-hitting analysis there, sir. We're looking at next. We have Panthers taking on the Buccaneers. Buccaneers are 5-point home favorites. The over-under is another gross 37 points. I think this game is going to go down to, I think the Buccaneers are going to win this game. I think Carolina is going to show some surge. Tampa Bay is a little iffy, kind of in every area this year. They're kind of like sort of a, like, you know how they say jack of all trades? Tampa's like a 6 of all trades. They're like okay at everything. Or like mediocre at everything. Really.
Can't do anything in euchre with a 6.
Yeah, exactly, bro. They don't even have 6s in euchre.
Yeah, I know. That's the point.
Yeah, exactly.
Got to turn it around, make it a 9.
Right. I like Baker. I like his scrappiness. He's proven to be solid this year. I like, what I've seen from Mike Evans, Rashad White. I do think that they'll move the ball. I do think that they'll score some points. I'll take Tampa Bay in this game, 27 to, I'll say 15.
Okay. Yeah. 15. How they get 15? Just
weird little score. Yeah. I don't know. We'll
field
see.
Goals, 2-point conversion.
Might go for 2, not get it. Might go for 2 and get it. I don't know. We'll have to see.
That's 14.
That's what the cards foretell.
Anyways, it's
fine. If they go for 2, they get it. I'm saying.
But if they miss it and then they get the 2-point conversion. If
I'm saying if they score 2 tutties and 1 2-point conversion.
Okay. That's what I was saying.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Whoa. That seemed a little. Okay. Anyways,
touchdown, 2 field goals, and safeties, most likely.
Okay, perfect. Yes, we need more scoregamis, man.
We do. I love scoregamis. I love the work that you do covering scoregamis. It makes me so happy.
Yeah, shout out to the NFL scoregami Twitter too. There's like a separate guy that does it too. I love it, and I just respond to it. I'm like, hey, we all written for scoregami. Anyways, Panthers are 30th in total yards, 31st in total points. I don't think getting rid of Frank Reich will change too much. Which is last week I was like, are they going to get rid of Frank Reich? They're not playing well, and then they did. I was like, oh,
very sad. I like Frank Reich. I think he's a good coach
too. Yeah,
and
I'm excited.
I think he got scapegoated.
I think he's done with football now.
He clearly was the one who wanted Stroud.
Yeah,
Stroud was his guy, and they picked Young, and he's the scapegoat. He's the fall guy.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to want that Panthers head coaching job.
Probably
I don't know. No first round pick,
no assets.
I think I'm not going to sleep on Bryce Young quite yet because I just don't think he's set up for success. But I don't know how you're going to use your picks next year to build around him. I think you need to spend as much. I think you need to do something on the offensive side of the ball to get his mojo back up and get people thinking like, hey, he's that guy. Give him everything. Like trade your defensive players. I don't really care. I think you need to see what you have in your quarterback so you can make decisions after next year because you don't have anything in this draft. So
what do you think about this game? Panthers Bucks.
Yeah, I think I have the Bucks winning 20-17. So
yeah,
they can't really run. They can't really run the ball though, so that kind of makes me nervous. They're 31st.
Yeah, because that's where the Panthers get beat. I think they will though. I think they will.
Yeah. I think they could too. Or they'll try to kind of keep the ball as much as possible away from the Panthers and just make it a not too crazy game. But the Bucks have lost 6 out of 7 games too, so not too good. Dynamite game.
Definitely a dynamite game. And good sir, we have the farthest thing from a dynamite game coming up, and that is my game. I get 2 in a row because I gave you 2 in a row. It happened to work out that I got Eagles Niners. I'm so sorry, bro.
It's fine. It's fine. Talk about it.
We'll both have a lot to talk about with this game. This is going to be one of those chew the scenery games. I could talk about every facet of this game, but the rivalry is at the center of it. These teams hate each other. We all know we had the UCL Bowl last year where the 49ers were down to their last options at QB. They were throwing in emergency QBs and Brock Purdy, who could not grip a football. Terrible, horrible, disgusting, awful, unfortunate outcome for a game that a lot of people thought the 49ers would have won. The Eagles are 3-point home dogs against the Niners with an over-under of 48 points. Now, we know that the Eagles have just been finding ways to win all year, whether it be Jalen Hurts putting the team on his back or A.J. Brown going Hercules mode or Sean Hockley, gift wrapping them one like something under a tree on December 25th. That being said, I personally think the 49ers are going to win this game. I don't think any amount of officiating interference can stop Christian McCaffrey and Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel and George Kittle and Jawan Jennings. Give me the 49ers in this game. I'll say 33-29.
Yeah, man. You said 33-29?
Yep.
Another fun little score. I like it.
I'm getting weird with it. It's always weird, It's always weird.
Yeah. Dude, CMC has been having an amazing season. He's had 16 touchdowns in 11 games. I think he's going to score a touchdown this game too. It's guaranteed at this point. But that's one of those make that bet now. Yeah. Before it's too late. But Jalen Hurts too has been getting a lot of rushing touchdowns. He's the first quarterback to have 10 rushing touchdowns in 3 straight seasons. Wow. Before the season, I said something about the Eagles, and some guy replied like, "There's no way he's going to get 10 rushing touchdowns again. Like he's not going to repeat." I was like, "Man, he's had 13 and 11 in the past 2 seasons."
Does that guy know what about the tush push?
Yeah, I don't know what he's like. There's no way they can carry this on. I was like, why not? They haven't.
What's weird about it is
changed.
What's weird about it is that if you look at the yardage, I think like 7 of them are 1 yard.
Yep. Yeah,
I know they all count the same. I know they all count the same, and like at the end of the day, it is what it is. It's a touchdown, but it does feel a little cheap. His stats feel a little inflated. I personally think he's been maybe a little overrated this year, because the team's record. But it is what it is. At the end of the day,
I think the team as a whole,
the team as a whole is probably one of the best in the NFL. Top 3,
easily.
3 to 5.
I mean, with their offensive line, with their tush push, which I feel like kind of makes it like once you're 4th and 1, they're gonna get it. Yeah. So it's like kind of 4 down territory if you can get within a couple yards. They got like 2-3 yards on a tush push last week, and I was like, what is going on, man?
So do you think they have a shot in this game against San Francisco?
Yeah, I have them winning.
Oh wow, what's the score?
I have 30-27.
30-27.
I mean, I think both teams are just juggernauts on almost every facet of the ball. I think the Eagles obviously have some secondary issues, but I think they're able to run the ball, and I think they have a lot of pass rush that kind of make that up. And I'm just not ready to bring the 49ers there. I think the 49ers have had some trouble this year. And I think the Eagles always find a way to win. So I went back and forth, but I feel like the Eagles are kind of that team right now. But I could definitely see the 49ers pulling off a win and giving them their second loss, because the Eagles did lose to the Jets. So
hey, it's
I don't
true.
know how that
That's their
happened.
one loss. It's
Shout out
ridiculous,
Armand.
right? Armand, your boys were showing some love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jimmy Ray, you're back in the driver's seat.
Kevin Phillip Fox.
Cleveland taking on the Rams in LA. Rams are 4-point favorites with an over/under of 40 points, Jimmy.
Yeah, this game will. I think this is like one of those sleeper games that will actually be really fun. The Browns have given up 150 plus rushing yards like each of the last 2 weeks. You know what Kyren Williams did last week?
Bro,
what did he do last week?
Such a dog.
What was that?
He hung what, like 40 fantasy points or something like that?
Yeah, people were like, Kyren Williams will be back. I'm like, awesome. I'll put him in my starting lineup for fantasy. Hopefully I'll get some like solid production out of him, maybe a touchdown or something like
30, 40 points.
30 or 40 points. And
insane.
I mean, that wasn't the only thing that went off for the Rams. I mean, Matthew Stafford balled out too. He threw the ball to Kyren Williams a couple times. Matthew Stafford past couple weeks, or 4 touchdowns, 120. Or last week was 4 touchdowns, 121 passer rating. I think the Rams are kind of on a roll right now, and I think the Browns are starting Joe Flacco.
They are.
So what do you make of that? I mean, he's like 1-8 in his last 9 starts.
I actually think
past couple seasons.
I actually think with this receiver core, this O-line, I actually think this could be an interesting little looking situation. I think they'll probably want to get the ball out quick. He's older. They're probably going to want to not have him be scrambling too much, which
set up the running game.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is going to be one of those ground and pound, quick passing games. And I think that really actually works to attack the Rams defense, which feels like one of the most nondescript units in the league. I mean, yes, they have Aaron Donald, but man, it feels like that team is just so, again, kind of like the Buccaneers of the West. They're kind of just
that makes sense.
Of all trades. You know, they don't do anything particularly special. Waiting for a get right game from the Rams passing attack. I'd love to see Puka Nacua come to life again. He's getting the targets, he's getting the volume, but he's not getting the stats. So
yeah.
Did you give us a score prediction there?
I had the Rams winning.
What's the
23-17. 23-17. It just feels like
23-17. Yeah, that feels right. I think I'll go Rams as well, and I think I'll go 27 to, I will say, 20. Yeah, 27-20.
Yeah.
All right, I'm back in the driver's seat. We have Kansas City heading to Green Bay, and the over-under is 42.5, with the Packers being 6-point home dogs. Kansas City's defense has been the story of the team this year. They've been unbelievable, and I think that that's going to slow down Jordan Love and the Packers' momentum that you talked about earlier. Who would have thought that they were great? I want to give some special love to our boy Adrian Revito, diehard Packers fan. We know you're watching the show, Adrian. Adrian's wife, Adrian's 0-year-old baby, 4-month-old. You gave me the
don't
months.
Forget. I got to go the months.
Not great with. I know until they're 1, you say, or until they're like 2, you say months, right?
Is it till 2 or till like year and a half? I have no idea.
2. It might be year and a half. It's like 18 months or like 36
just do
months.
It forever. I'm like 200 something months old. I don't know.
That's young. I don't think you're that. I think you're older than 200 months.
Let's go 300. 300.
So
okay.
Hard.
Anyways,
I have no idea what I'm
12
saying.
12 times 26. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think the Packers will put up a fight. I think this game will be interesting. The Chiefs are another team like the Dolphins that let crappy teams, for lack of a better term, hang around. It's the reason why they've dropped games that they shouldn't at times. They had Philly beat before the MVS drop. They lost to Denver, who isn't as crappy as we thought they were in hindsight. Actually, same with the Lions. You know, I guess all the Chiefs losses are pretty quality. But they did beat themselves in all those games. Yeah. So I do think I'll take the Chiefs to win this game because they're the Chiefs. I think I'll say the Chiefs are going to win this game. I'll say 31-21.
Okay. Yeah, I had the Chiefs winning as well, 31-17.
Close.
One little stat, Rashee Rice last week, he had 8+ catches, 100+ yards, 1 touchdown. He was the first rookie Chiefs wide receiver to do that since Dwayne Bowe. I just loved Dwayne. Dwayne Bowe was a solid wide receiver for the Chiefs.
I love Dwayne Bowe.
He doesn't get talked about enough. He had
he doesn't.
Good little career.
He was a dynamite player for a couple years there.
Yeah. But it is a bright side for the Rashee Rice to kind of, because the Chiefs wide receivers, they're kind of iffy ever since Tyreek Hill left.
Yeah, very iffy. You think Rashee Rice is gonna break out a little bit?
Yeah, I think he kind of broke out a little bit last week, and I think he has a chance to continue doing that. Obviously, he has a tough. Is Jair Alexander in this week?
I think so.
Yeah, so I think it'll be a little tough, but we'll see what he can do. What he can do against Packers for the up.
Might be the bold prediction of the episode, possibly of the season. We did have Joe Crack call out the Cardinals upset of Dallas. So Armand with calling out the Packers upset here. We love to see it. Jimmy and I, as fans of AFC teams, would love to see the Chiefs fall.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Jordan Love's first start also was against the Chiefs.
That's right.
He did not do well. He got a lot of pressure. Yeah, it was like a 13-6. It was a very low scoring game, which was weird.
The Chiefs, man, they're weird. They do that, man. Remember they lost to the Colts last year?
Yeah, week 3.
Weird.
And my roommate's a Ravens fan, and the Colts beat the Ravens week 3, and I was like, that's a good sign for you because the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year when the Colts did it to them.
There you go. Ravens are definitely. It's looking good right now.
If you're playing the Colts week 3, you're going to lose, but you just know there's better things coming for you.
Definitely. I believe we have our last game here, Jimmy. Anything else
Monday
you want
Night
to say
Football.
on that one?
Sunday Night Football? No, not really.
We're looking at Monday Night Football here. We got the Jake Browning-led Cincinnati Bengals, 8.5-point road dogs in Jacksonville, who are 8.5-point favorites with a 38.5-point over/under. Jimmy, what is the story here? What's the story of this game?
So the story of this game, if you had to guess, you might already know this. When was the last time the Jaguars played on Monday Night Football?
99.
2011.
But
12 years without playing on Monday Night Football. I think every other team's played like multiple times at this point. I guess they just
sure.
And now they're at home now against the Bengals. This could have been a very good game if there was some healthy quarterback on the Bengals side of the ball. But Jaguars have won 7 of the last 8. Bengals are actually like 3-20 on the road in Monday Night Football games, which I thought was interesting. I don't think it's like one of those stats that says the story about this game specifically, but it definitely tells like a franchise kind of story.
Yeah.
And the Bengals are also the last team in rushing, so that's tough for their offense when they have a backup quarterback, and then they have not a good running back or rushing offense at this time. Joe Mixon.
I was going to say Joe Mixon has had some stretches this year, though.
Yeah, he's definitely had some stretches at this point, but I don't know I don't think it's enough for the Bengals. He's not
striking the fear of God into the Jaguars
no, and as much as I would love for the Jaguars to lose because they always beat up the Colts, I got to go Jaguars here. I didn't actually put down the score, so I think the score is going to be, I'll say 30-13. I'll make it. I think it'll be a crazy game.
30-13. You got some
big lopsided game.
You got any faith in Jake Browning to lead the Bengals at all?
I guess not, since I just said 30-13.
Yeah, honestly, in this specific
maybe
game,
a little bit. Maybe the score a little bit more like
Jags D is good, man. Jags have a great defense. One of the stories of their team this year, Trevor Lawrence has been the classic case of doing it enough, like doing enough to win games. He hasn't really set the world on fire at all this year, and it's bothered a lot of fantasy owners for sure, but you included, I believe. You have him.
I do have him. Yeah,
I do have him in our legit dynasty. Yep. You took him a pick ahead of me, actually, you bum. I traded down. Yeah, I traded down, hoping to still snag him. And Demon took Fields and you took Lawrence. Man. I ended up
trying to be good.
I ain't even mad because that's the only reason I have Dak, baby. And he's gonna win me the Super Bowl. He's gonna win me the chip this year.
Sounded like you were mad. You called me a bum.
I was mad. I'm mad.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you're a bum. I mean,
Trevor's
we just talked about him being bad.
He's a young kid. He's sunshine. He's the prince who was promised, man. I like him. Oh, wow.
We could make a trade if you're curious.
Armand says shots fired. It's true. I did. I fired some shots.
Dude, I'll trade Trevor Lawrence, Breece Hall for Dak Prescott.
Trevor Lawrence and Breece Hall.
I won't do that. I won't do that.
I would take that.
I know you would. I know you would.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got the Jags winning this game pretty decisively as well. I'll say 27 to I'll say 14. And that means I'm taking the over. You did as well. No, yours was just slightly under. No, you have the over 38.5. Wow. Look at us go. So bet the over. Another lock.
Yeah, bet the over. I don't know if it's a lock, but you can take it if you want.
Jimmy Ray, is there anything else you want to say to the good people of Legit Football's community before we sign off for the week and check in on these picks next week?
We're in the teens of the NFL season, which is sad.
Why would you say that?
I had to. I had to talk about it. I have to
cope.
cope.
To hurt me anymore.
I have to cope. Nah, man, we're getting into the playoff push, so I feel very excited because each game is like we get that playoff picture. Go on ESPN, see if your team can make the playoffs if they win every game, because that's what everybody does. They pick their team to win every game.
Yep.
And then figure out how they can make the playoffs. So that's fun. But I think the Colts are going to make the playoffs over the Bills. It's going to be awesome.
I will be very happy for you if they do. I will be devastated for myself. If the Bills don't make the playoffs, I will be wrecked. But I've kind of sort of accepted that was their fate, at this point with what they've been through. I just kind of – and it concludes the toughest 2-year stretch of a team that was considered good or competitive who will very likely probably not win a Super Bowl in that window. I mean, look, it's fine. Like if they – I wouldn't be shocked even in the slightest if they went on a run and made the playoffs. I would still be I still very much see that.
And you should be excited because they have a tough schedule. So if they are winning and then end up making the playoffs, like you should be excited because anything can happen in the playoffs.
100%. And they've already proven that with how they've dismantled the Jets defense that's good and hung in there and took every last drop of what Philly had to offer. So, but at the same time, this season has just been so fluky and random and chaotic and annoying that it's almost like I want to turn the page. I want to get these guys out of there that aren't going to help us win, and I want to get some fresh blood in there. And I don't mean that about McDermott.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I mean that about certain players. I won't name names.
Yeah.
Armand thinks the AFC South will have 3 teams in the playoffs over the East. I can see that.
I mean, so the Browns are in there right now, so that you see them falling, and the Texans and Colts kind of gaining traction.
Colts rising up. We'll see. The Colts, they're pesky, man.
Colts and Texans have to play each other too, so that's the tough part.
So I guess I just at that day, I guess I'm just hoping for a tie. I guess I don't know. As a Bills fan, I don't.
Yeah. I think you're the one. A tie is good and bad.
I don't want anybody to gain a game on us. Yeah, but anyways, this has been an amazing show, man. I appreciate everybody. Armand holding it down in the chat as always. Jimmy Ray being the GOAT. We miss Adrian. We miss Anthony. We miss Brian. Mad love to everybody who we've shared the stage with. Definitely looking forward to watching a bunch of football this week. And you know what I think we could do more of, Jimmy, and not just you and me, but also Armand and everybody. We could talk some more smack on Twitter, man. I think that's what this community needs. I love talking smack. I really do. You should see Demon, man. Demon is a demon. He really is.
Is he? I guess he has a fitting name then, huh?
He has a fitting name, dude. He really does. But he trolled me pretty hard the other day about the Bills, and it's all in good fun. At the end of the day, we all want each other to be happy, but we all also want to drink each other's tears. So it's that kind of kind of relationship,
Yeah, if everyone could be happy, sure, but it's also fun.
That's sports. That's the beauty of sports. Someday it will be.
The Bills suck, dude.
I was gonna say someday it'll be our turn. I don't know. I'm just getting more and more skeptical of that, but
Colts will win the Super Bowl this year, so
100%, obviously. Yeah. But this has been the Legit Football NFL podcast. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to cue up the outro music. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy football. We are out.